All right, if you're getting ready for the IELTS exam, you know that task 2, the opinion essay, can feel like the biggest hurdle. But what if I told you there's a simple, repeatable blueprint that takes all the guesswork out of it? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to build that blueprint together, step by step, to get you aiming for that top score. So, does your mind just go completely blank when you see one of those essay prompts? Trust me, you are not alone. It's a huge challenge for so many people, but it's one you can absolutely overcome. By the end of this, you're going to have a crystal clear strategy to turn all that pressure into a high-scoring performance. So here's our game plan. First, we'll break down the challenge itself. Then, we'll get into a simple 4-part blueprint. After that, we'll load you up with the language of persuasion, tear apart a top-scoring essay to see how it works, and finally, get you ready to go practice on your own. Let's do it.
Okay, first things first. Before we can build a solution, we have to know exactly what we're up against. Let's get really clear on what the examiners are actually looking for when they ask for your opinion. Okay, check out this classic example. You have to notice the key instruction here. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. This is so important. It's not just about what you think, it's about showing the examiner you can think critically, look at both sides of an issue, and then come to your own conclusion. Missing this one detail can cost you a ton of points.
So what's the secret sauce for a high score? It really just comes down to these 4 things. Think of it like the examiner's report card for your essay. Did you answer the whole question? Does it all flow logically? Is your vocabulary strong and interesting? And are your sentences well-built and accurate? To get that top score, you've got to hit all 4 of these.
All right, now for the fun part, the solution. And here's the good news. You do not need some crazy, complicated structure to get a high score. In fact, the absolute key is a simple, powerful framework that you can lean on every single time.
And here it is. Seriously, just 4 paragraphs. That is it. You've got your introduction, 2 body paragraphs where you develop your ideas, and a conclusion to wrap it all up. This structure is kind of like your secret weapon. It guarantees your essay is perfectly balanced and super easy for the examiner to read and follow, which is exactly what we want.
Let's dig a little deeper into what each part does. Your introduction, keep it short and sharp. Just paraphrase the question and clearly state your position. The 2 body paragraphs, that's where you build your case, each one with a clear reason backed up by a solid example. And the conclusion? It just neatly summarizes everything without throwing in any new ideas. See? Every single part has a specific job to do.
So a great structure is like the skeleton of your essay, but it's the words you choose that really bring it to life. So let's stock up your vocabulary toolkit with some essential phrases that will make your writing sound much more academic and persuasive. Look, you have to do better than just saying, "I think." You want to elevate your language. Using phrases like, "I firmly believe that," or "it is my strong conviction that," just immediately tells the examiner that you have a confident, well-thought-out opinion. And that's exactly what they're hoping to see. And you should think of these phrases as signposts. They literally guide the reader through your thinking. So when you make a point in your body paragraph, you follow it up with, "This is because," to explain it. And then you nail it down with, "This can be illustrated by," to give a real-world example. That simple sequence is the key to creating that perfect flow we talked about. Okay, so we've got the blueprint and we've got the language. Now let's see how it all comes together. We're going to take apart a real Band 9 model essay and see what makes it tick. So just take a look at this introduction. See how it doesn't just jump straight into an opinion? It starts by setting the scene, kind of paraphrasing the general topic of technology's impact. Then, bam, it gets right to the point with a super clear opinion statement. Right away, this tells the examiner, "Hey, I understand the question and I have a clear plan for this essay." And this is just a perfect example of our blueprint in action. It does all 3 jobs an introduction needs to do. It rephrases the prompt in new words. It gives a really clear stance using that great phrase, "I strongly believe," and it even hints at the essay structure, that it's going to talk about both the good stuff and the complications. Now let's look at the first body paragraph. This is a really clever strategy here. The writer actually tackles the opposing view first. By acknowledging that, yeah, technology can be stressful and bringing up real issues like information overload, they're showing the examiner they've thought about both sides. And you know what that does? It makes their own argument seem way more balanced and credible.
And just look at the beautiful structure here. There's a clear reason, stress and security. Then an explanation for it, information overload. And then a specific supporting example, online fraud. This is that magic formula for a convincing body paragraph. Reason, explanation, example. It's that simple. Okay, so after giving a fair look at the counterargument, the author pivots to their main point using that powerful transition, on the other hand. This paragraph is where they make their big case, that the upsides of technology and things like communication, education, and healthcare are just way more important.
But what really makes this paragraph shine is the quality of the example. It doesn't just say something vague like, healthcare is better. No, it cites a WHO report about telemedicine saving lives in rural areas. You see, specific, factual examples like that are what separate a good essay from a truly great one. And now for the landing, the conclusion. It kicks off with that clear signal, in conclusion, and then in just a couple of sentences, it wraps up the entire discussion perfectly. Notice how well this conclusion works. It doesn't just copy and paste the introduction. It restates the main opinion, but uses fresh wording, outweigh the drawbacks, and it summarizes the two sides that were discussed. It's just a clean, confident ending that leaves a really strong final impression, all without adding any new information.
So, you've seen the theory, you've seen the blueprint, and you've seen it all in action. Now guess what? It's your turn. Let's talk about how you can start applying this blueprint to your own writing right now.
I mean, the difference here is just night and day, right? The weak version is fine, but it's super simple and repetitive. The Band 9 version, though, uses much more sophisticated vocabulary, like transformed and simplified routines, and the sentence structure is way more complex. This is the level of writing we're all aiming for.
Okay, so if you're going to remember anything, remember this. A clear, 4-paragraph structure is your absolute foundation. You have to state your opinion clearly and right up front. Every single reason you give must be backed up with a specific example. And finally, always be working on expanding your academic vocabulary. These 4 rules are your golden ticket to a high score.
We've basically broken down the entire process from start to finish. You now have a clear, repeatable blueprint for success. So the only question left is, what topic are you going to tackle first? What argument are you ready to build, defend, and win? Now's the time to go put it into practice.